Welcome, everybody. I hope that you got to watch the first Survey123 Padawan Academy because we build every week. It's going to build one off of each other. There were some questions that came in. One was, do I need a license in order to participate in the class? And the answer is no, you don't need a license to participate in the class. Some folks are just coming in and they're wanting to learn about the software so that they can probably talk to their GIS people. And some of you maybe just want to glean right now and you're not quite ready for that investment of $100 through Esri. Some ways to get around that is if you have a student ID, you can usually talk to your IT at the school and ask them if they can give you one of their licenses. Most schools, most universities anyways, have Esri software because it's free, and Esri wants them to promote their software, and it's a smart idea. So that might be another opportunity for you if you can't get that $100 license right now. I'm going to show you around the softwares. I'm going to bounce in and out of all the softwares because if I do this first, then when we start building, you'll know, oh, okay, I need to go here to do that, or I need to go here to do that. And instead of doing it at the very end when you've already made your first survey, I just feel like, especially for those of you who already do it or are brand new to it and need to know this ahead of time, I figured that this would be a good place to start that. La 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 la. And then I'm going to cut and paste this information. This is the Facebook group. Now that I'm not doing a PowerPoint, I can do that for you. And today's secret word. I feel like that guy on a cartoon. I don't remember his name. Steve. I don't know. Anyways, they always did some fun things when the secret word came in. So that bounty hunter is going to be yours. And the reason I do this is the second Survey123 class that we're doing, and B comes second. So as we go through 21 weeks, I'm going to make sure that that those change, because then I can see when somebody actually what the video was that they actually watched in order to get in.
Michelle,
yes.
I just had a question really quick.
Sure.
To log into the Facebook group, is that through our personal Facebook?
Yes.
Or okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I don't think, unless you have a company one, I guess you
no, I didn't think so, but
okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's an easy way to keep everything collected, because if I put something out on YouTube or LinkedIn, if those get deleted, Facebook will keep them in there. And it's a nice container so that even if you're not, if maybe, like I said earlier, if you can't get that $100 license, you can watch it later. I'd watch it right now just so you can warm your brain, but you can always watch them later when you get that account. Let's see. Last week I showed you Survey123, the skill sets survey in AGUL. So I'm going to use that as going back and forth and showing you what we're doing. And I didn't open anything up because I want to share with you how I open everything up. There we go. How we open everything up as we go. So first we're going to go into AGUL. I'm going to show you all that data. So go into Chrome. I have a little shortcut up here. I'm going to go to sign in. And when I go in, I was telling you last week what was going on with the logins. I go in to sign in way down here. Oh, no, I go down here. Bummer, I don't remember what this is. Let's see. I think that's it. I guess I haven't signed in for, oh, I cleared my cache last night. Sometimes if you try to get into the Esri community and they've done a massive update, you can't get in unless you clear your cache or all your cookies. All right. Oh, look at that. It did come up. Okay, there it is. That's much easier. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what that looks like. And so we come over here to these 9 dots and come to Survey 123. This is after you've already had something published. And I have a lot of those. So let's see what we have. I think it's this one right here. And so what's going to happen is you're going to get all this information that Esri's going to give you. It's going to talk about how many people took a survey, when they took the survey, give you some information on the users, how many times they actually did it. Anonymous users, 54 times. Here's the design. We don't design in here. We design in Collect. This is the Collaborate, and this is where you're going to be able to give QR codes to folks. You also need to make sure that you share the results with certain people and things like that. We'll get to that another day. Here's your Analyze, and that's what I was showing you last week. You know, all of the skill sets. Yeah, just a lot of different things in there. The Data tab is where you're probably going to be most of the time. So we have a lot of dots out here. This is all the data. This is your attribute table. You'll notice I don't have a repeat in here. That would have been a second attribute table. And then we have settings. And settings is, that's where you're going to connect your, well, this is where your webhooks will show up once you link everything together. Some of you were asking about that. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go back in here. Oh, Collaborate. And if you wanted to open this up in the browser, so when we're sharing, you can share with a with a URL or a QR code. And then when you want to share that with somebody, you have a few choices. You can do it in the browser. You can ask the user how they want to do it in the browser or in Survey123, the Field app, or just in the Field app directly. I do the one in the middle, I believe, for you folks. I don't remember. I do one, either the top one or the middle one, because the browser is usually much easier for folks who don't know Survey123 or don't have the app. So if you, yeah, that's where that is. Anyways, what we're going to do, I'm going to open this up in the browser so you can see it. And I'm going to grab the URL because it's easier when I'm on my computer. And this is what that looks like. And this big ugly red area, that just says that it doesn't know where my computer is. And that's probably because I might have that setting turned off or something. So people can go in here and they can, you can actually get there by just adding your information right there. Anyways, this is what you looked at. So I'm just sharing this with you so that you can see that this is what the browser looks like. I'm going to make everything small because I'm going to show you what the end user is going to see. You'll notice down here at the bottom, I do have that this connect, and then I have that one that doesn't show up, that little icon. Let's see, Windows, oh, it actually says it doesn't know where it is. Okay, so we're going to do it the long way.
Hey, Michelle, this is Steve Vickery. Will we
Yes,
eventually get to talking about credit consumption and how these surveys impact that, and then how we mitigate some of that usage for maybe a short-term versus a long-term survey?
sure. Credit usage usually, okay, there's a couple different things going on there. Credit usage for the data, and then there's the credit usage for feature reports. Feature reports is up to us. You know, that's your consumption there. The credit for live data is more expensive. And for your question, let me see. Are you talking about maybe a personal account or a company account with
Yeah,
a bigger
like
bucket?
an enterprise, an enterprise license account.
Okay. Yes, Survey123 data is more expensive because it's live data and there's push and pull going on through that. I did a little research on that before credit. I can kind of tell you what my surveys look like. Let me do that on another day. That's a good question. I will find out more. I'll do a little more research on how much my surveys do, because I think with what I have going on with all my surveys, I don't have a lot of live data in most of them. But I know I'm using about a half a credit a day just with my data. When you've got those larger surveys that are like 1,000 records with 100 fields in them, if they're 255 characters, we'll talk about all of that, but the data is more expensive and your photos. So keep that in mind as you're building these. You can always talk to your IT person and ask them. I think they probably know the credit consumption per survey. That would be really smart. I'll ask my guy and see what happens. See if I can bring that up for you. Good question. Let's see here. Location, that's fine. So what we're looking at over here is this is Survey123, the field app. And that's why we download the field app in our desktop, because you can also have it on your phone. But if you have it here, then it's much easier for you to go back and forth when you're and put them both on your computer when you're looking at things. So I can say, this one here. Oh, I made an edit. So I tell the computer to automatically tell people to update. And I have an inbox in mine. I don't know if you would because you're in the browser, but this is what it would look like. Very similar. It's looking for my map, or it's looking for my location. It would know where I was if I was on my phone, but I'll just say that right now. And then I must have something back here because it's got a funky background. Let's see, what's my goal? Oh, anyways, this is what it looks like. So it looks very similar. You'll notice over here, very similar. The look and feel, it's the same. It's the same data on the back end. And then I'm going to open my, oh, well, I'm not going to open my phone app, but if you wanted to, you can open your phone app. It's going to look the same. And that's why you have all that software. And then I'm going to show you Connect. So we'll open up this other icon down here. Actually, the way I do Connect, well, I'm going to open it first. I like to, on the ones where I'm doing my phone, I like to make it really small over here, and I like to open up my spreadsheet. Did you see how I did that? There's a little spreadsheet up here. This is the back end. And this was not very big. It's just enough to get you to answer some questions and things like that. So what we're looking at is very much the same thing that you already saw. And then see how it says, how do you feel about your skills so far? That one is actually here, and you'll notice that I have extra stuff at the bottom. Well, that's because when I first started this, I wanted to put all the data in one Survey123. So this is actually the after Survey123 that you do after class. After I built it, I thought, not sure I liked it that way, but for right now, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And we can go forward. Down here at the bottom, this is some information just to kind of give me some information, the device name and your device that you use. And the reason for that is if you put your name up at the top and I can, and then you answer something down at the bottom, I can link your all your data together with that ID. That's not pulling any personal information. It's not pulling anything that would make you feel unsafe. Let's see. So that, I'm going to show you what that one looks like. That's the after. And so when you do the after survey, that's what this one looks like. And those are the questions that you're going to get down there. And you can do that. You can link data to the same feature class, and kind of go forward with that. I thought that was a fun one to do just because you can see how that all works. Does anybody have any questions so far? Do you feel okay about what we just did? All right, that was fun. Yeah, bouncing around from the different softwares. That's one of my friends who took my class. That's what she said. She said, you put all this information out there and I'm so confused about where all this was. And I thought, I need to put that on the front end. I need to figure out how we can make this better. So hopefully that'll help you out. And then let's see, I'm going to go back to the homework from last week. If you want to come off mute, let me know what your category was. And then also, what are some of your questions that you're going to ask in your survey? This is where I need the do, 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 do. Nobody?
I thought you meant earlier to put it in the group chat, so I did.
Yes. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, but I mean, I can talk to it a bit. So I have experience with GIS, not necessarily survey. That's just not a tool I've used. So in the past, when I was doing my undergrad studies, one of the things we had to do was like a web map of areas of interest around our campus. And so I'm going to take that same idea, put it into a survey and do it instead of like my campus for college. I'm going to do it. I studied abroad for a semester in London. So I'm going to do like the areas of interest around my campus there. And then also just places I visited, you know, in the country.
Wonderful. Oh, I love that. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think a bucket list would be great too. That would be fun. And then ask people about what their favorite vacations were. That's a sweet idea. And then we have Taylor says, what condition is the asset in? Question 1. Very good. I'm not sure how I can help you with that one. Oh, what condition? Okay. So he's looking for like probably infrastructure. And they want to know what the condition is. So is the paint falling off? Is it new?
That's right.
Perfect.
You
Okay,
got
good.
it.
Good. I had to
Yeah.
think about that for a minute. It had to merge. So
Yeah, sorry.
very good.
I'll add some more context next time.
It's just fun. It's fun to be able to hear people's voices and talk through things. So that we can, kind of talk through them.
Definitely.
All right, this is good. So your homework for this week, let me get down here to my notes. Homework. Okay, homework for this week is, where did it go? Oh, too far up there. What are your deliverables for your end user? What do they want? Do they want a dashboard, which is read-only? Do they need web apps, which is editable? These are good for your QC, all your QC work. Feature reports, those are going to be your Word documents or your PDFs. Automation, that's going to be your webhooks. So Integromat or the one in 360 in Microsoft 360. Power Automate. There it goes. You'll notice I haven't drank all my coffee yet. My brain hasn't fully kicked in. And then what else? There might be something else that you want. If you were here in the first 15 minutes, I had a friend on and he couldn't stay for the meeting, but he had a good question. And he said, he's looking for somebody, a developer who can do like an app like Survey123, but they don't want to be locked into the Survey123 credits and all of that. So I'm going to help them look for a developer. If you know anybody who can put things out on Android or Apple, put their name in here and I can look them up also. I can point them in his direction. La, la, la. All right. So in your reactions up top, I think that's a little smiley face. If you learned something new today, do a thumbs up. And if your kind of a veteran of Survey123 and you, thank you, look at that, that's fun. If you're a veteran and you have some extra information for our folks, add it to the chat, or you can come off mute if there's something that I hit upon, but maybe could go a little deeper. We have about 7 minutes and we can talk through a few things. And then I'm going to do a little bit of Survey123 so that if you're already there, sorry, I'm reading chats. I shouldn't read chats while I'm going. If you already know a little bit of Survey123 or you have your questions, I'm going to show you how to start. Get everything off my computer. My goodness, there's a lot going on. Leave everything. When you get into Survey123 Connect, we're just going to start you off easy so that those of you who are excited can get in here and do this. Go to New Survey. And you can name it whatever you want, but I usually do a few iterations before I get to my master, and I like to keep the master name for when I actually go live. So I could call it, just today, I'm going to call it cohort 0815, and we'll just do that. We're going to do a blank form and do advanced template, and then create a survey. And it does everything for you. We'll get into more of this next week, but this is just for you to get a little bit of a head start on everybody for next week. What I want you to do is in this area right here, this label area, that is the questions that you're going to ask your end user. It's going to give you a few up top, and we'll talk through a little bit more of this next week. But I want you to fill in these right here. And then here in names, just for right now to make it easy, we can call it Q1. And what I would do is see how you do Q1 and you have this little note over here. I would just drop this down a few. Oh, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. I thought it was going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I restarted that. Question 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the reason for that is later we're going to make those names a little easier. And for us, use text all the way down. And the reason I did this here for these 2 columns is because we're going to be able to dial those in better. But I want you to be able to type your names, your questions in here while we're just getting used to the whole thing. And that's how I start out my clients. We always start at the questions and we dial those in first. And then when you hit save up here at the top, actually it's not going to let me because I don't have enough questions in here. That error message that I didn't have a question in 2 and this 2 and 5 or 2 and 4. So
Michelle.
Yes.
Which app are we supposed to be using to be doing this? Are we supposed to be on like the desktop? Are we supposed to be in Field app or Connect? You didn't say.
Perfect. This is Connect.
Okay.
So you open up Connect. Connect is where you're going to build everything. So you always want to do that. The desktop version is what you're going to see once you publish everything. That's what your end users are going to see. And then the phone app is also the other version of the desktop version. Good question. Anybody else? All right. Well, this will get you started. That's your homework. You know, it's if you want to work in Connect, get the labels all set up. That's beautiful. We will figure out the rest and build off of this next week, and we'll actually start getting into things. So I hope that was helpful. I'm going to look at the chats real quick and see what we have. Firefighting. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Power Automate and flows. I don't think they call it flows anymore, but Power Automate, yes. Power Automate is in 360, Microsoft 360. So yes, ERM has that one inside of their community, but I think most anybody else who has that platform would probably have that one also. Is there today's the first day? Yes. If you are, Megan, if you're in the Facebook group, you'll be able to see week 1 and week 2. You can also find it in my LinkedIn if you're not in Facebook. It's just, I put them in Facebook so that they'll stay in order. My LinkedIn, if you go to the wall, you should be able to see them in order. They'll be backwards, but you should be able to see them in order. When we get 21 of them, they're going to be all over the place. So I figure the Facebook group will have them in a nice organized fashion. Spanish-speaking residents. Yes, we can do more than one language. Since we have a few minutes, let me show you. In choices, you're going to have all this information up here. Languages. That's where we're going to build. We could build it out that way. There's you're going to do your translations here, and then also in survey, there is one way down here. Somewhere out here, there they are, languages. And that's where what's going to happen is those XX marks, you're going to tell the computer what language that is. And you're going to do the same thing in choices, and you're going to do your translations. And then you can actually copy and paste those several times so that you can have Spanish or you can have French or whatever those are. We can I'll put that in as something we can learn along the way. Language. Good question. And then Oh, perfect. Thank you. Somebody put in some information. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna have to look at that one too. And then if you join 10 minutes late, yes, those will go into YouTube and LinkedIn and the Facebook group. All right, perfect. Thank you folks for adding extra verbiage down through the chat. I will also add those to my notes for the next time I run this class. This is perfect.